Hello there guys, and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today I want to talk about living in faith. How do we remain faithful to the unseen? This is what we want to talk about today, and I'm going to get deep into this. We're going to take a deep dive into this today. Before I do, please do like, share and subscribe. Comment down below if you found this video helpful. Also, let's just discuss this, guys. My free Facebook group is growing exponentially, and I want you to come join it because it's in the next few weeks I'm going to be blasting so much content on there too, because it's about creating community now in this world. So I hope to see you there. That's linked in the description. So let's talk about this. How do we live with faith in the unseen? Well, I want to talk about this a little bit because some changes are coming in the way that I will be running my coaching business and stuff like that. And to be honest, the image of the end is there, but I keep coming up against some blocks, that like today I had a day of where I wanted to do lots and lots and lots, but I didn't get a lot done. Now that can become a frustration. You start to get frustrated because you're like, what is going on? I'm should be closer towards the end here. I should be this, I should be that. Do you know what I mean? And so what I'm trying to say to you is life sometimes gets in the way, and it's our internal struggle that starts to reflect on the outside. So in this moment, I was having an internal struggle today because someone that I was chatting to wasn't able to do the work I needed. Someone else had let me down by not being prepared. And I just started to see too much of the reality in front of me, and it started to make me feel like I was struggling. It was tough, it was hard. And you see how this inner dialogue starts to swirl around the brain. So I'm starting to think it's hard, I'm struggling, this is da-da-da. So what we have to do in that moment is recognize that to our end result doesn't necessarily mean that the journey has to be blissful for it to be already done. Let's think about it like this. I often talk about how pressure creates a diamond. The idea is that we know how it's going to end. So it doesn't really matter what happened to me today because I know what the end is. And that is that my membership platform that I want to do to help people who can't afford coaching and need a more community to grow in, that will be ready by the end of by the middle of March. And that's just done. So now it's all about process, right? So what we do is we find the end result, and that end result is that I've grown a vibrant community full of like-minded individuals, and I get to coach them en masse to live in peace and harmony and create their lives, right? So let's put that to them. Let's put that out there. That's what I want to create. So watch this space in the next year and see where that membership goes, because I'm going to live from the end in that. Now what happens is when you come up against these pressure moments, that's when you're being tested of whether you have faith in the end or not. Because basically a lot of the time you could just stop, you just give up. Yeah, I'm happy with where I am right now, what's the point in changing it so much? But don't stop, my friends. This is where you have to recognize the feeling. Now Neville Goddard often talked about revision. Why was he talking about revision? Because when you revise, you change your energy. Basically, now your energy isn't agreeing with what happened. You're now creating that new energy. I talk about this a lot in my videos. I talk about it in a sense, but differently. You recognize your reaction in that moment. So right now, I'm recognizing my reaction to all of this perceived stillness today. And what does it breed? Frustration, annoyance, you name it. Low vibe. Not the end result of my goal, So now I'm not living from the end. I'm not living in faith in that moment. But now what I do is I start to recognize that feeling on the body. I breathe and relax. I trust that my body, the same way as it knows how to get rid of waste food and wastewater, knows how to get rid of this waste energy. And then I align my thoughts back to this is a peaceful, harmonious process full of ease, joy, and expectation of the best. So now what happens is I recall one of the guys that wasn't working the way I needed. And I showed him an imagery of what I wanted to achieve. And he's like, I can do that immediately. Fantastic, let's go. He says, don't even pay me yet. Let me just get on and do it. And if you're happy, pay me. If you're not, don't. I mean, I'm like, what a lovely guy. Now everyone seems to be working exactly how I need them to be working. Do you see what I mean? So now I'm living in the joyous expectancy, and I'm living from the energy of faith and ease. So now I live in that faith and ease, and I keep moving forward in that way. This is what I'm trying to say to you guys. This is what we must do. We live in that faith and easiness, right? So all I want to say to you is this. The way that you live in faith is by dealing with the energy that goes against what you want. Now here's an extra thing for those of you who have stayed onto the video for long enough. Here's the extra point. Once you start living like I'm asking you to live, you will start to see things change in your experience. What does this do? This helps you to grow in faith. Grow in faith that what you're doing is enough. This really helpful part of the process that is ignored too much. Then when you start to grow in faith, you're like, well, now I'm really going to double down on this. I'm going to really trust that all my job is to really deal with my reactionary feelings towards life. Because once they have no power over me, once I let go of them, life just seems to work out. So I'm telling you this, and I want you to hear this. You live in faith by becoming the master of your reactions. You're allowed to react. You're going to react. You're going to be frustrated. I mean, come on. You have to go through some level of pain. There is a price to pay for everything. So there is some level of pain on the journey. But to be honest, the pain is just your emotional response to a situation. It's not the situation itself. So once you learn to deal with the emotional response, the pain starts to get less and less to achieve something. But the price you pay is that awareness. So you grow in faith by paying the price of awareness. You live in faith by paying the price of awareness. You create by paying the price of awareness. And then you add a little bit of intentionality on top of that. Once you become intentional, from that place, you are done. You do not need to visualize it anymore. It is done. As soon as you have visualized it, as soon as you've intended it, it is done. You may revisit the imagery, like I have an imagery in my mind of the membership and the wonderful community I'm going to create and how helpful it's going to be for everyone. So I may revisit that because it feels good. But I'm not doing it thinking that I'm adding power to the omnipotent, because I am not. All I am doing is reminding myself of the course of action. It's like checking the map again. You know, so I'm just checking the map one more time just to be sure, and that's it. So this is the video today, guys. What did you think? Did you find it helpful? If you love the idea of the membership, shout me out too, and I will leave a way that you can access that membership soon. It's coming the next month. I'm so excited. It's going to be full of content, and that content's going to grow exponentially over the first 6 months too, because I'm going to be posting so regularly on there. And I will continue to post regularly. But in the first 6 months, I'm going to just bombard it with amazing value and growth. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you at the next one.